Hello everyone, I'm Flavia and I'm so thankful you're here. Today we will be revealing the surprise behind door number 8 of Spellbinder's Crafty Advent Calendar, which is this very narrow door on the left side at the bottom. As we open the door, the first thing that we see is a picture of today's contents, which turned out to be a small die set. Off screen, I cut out all of the needed pieces using cardstock scraps, and before I glue all of the pieces together, I will go around the edges of the red flowers with a dark color of ink just to add a little bit of shading. This is a great way of adding depth to your die cuts and really bring your projects to the next level. I first tried using a darker shade of red ink, however, since I wanted an even darker shading around the edges of these flowers, I decided to switch to a darker brown ink pad. These ink pads are by Simon Says Stamp, however you can use any type of ink that you might already have. Here is a closer look so you can see the difference. On the right we have a flower with no shading around the edges, and on the left side we have that same die cut flower that I ink blended around the edges using a dark brown ink pad. This step is definitely optional, but I do think it makes all the difference. Moving on, now we need to add the stems to each die cut flower and the small pieces in the center. Then I will adhere these beautiful flowers to a die-cut vase. It is also included in this set 2 large plates to cut out some leaves that I will show you in a minute. To decorate this die-cut vase, I will add a golden die-cut border that I cut out using a plate included in the Crafty Advent Calendar, door number 5. I will glue just one border right in the center, and then using a pair of scissors, I will cut out the pieces that are hanging off. To add these flowers to the vase, I will use pieces of tape in the back, which will allow me to reposition them if I need to, and I will use strong liquid adhesive to glue this entire vase with the flowers to the front of an A2 size note card. Moving on, I will now cut out a panel that I will later adhere to the front of my note card using a rectangular die plate. This beautiful pattern paper is by Rose's Studio, and I believe it is available at Spellbinders shop. If you're interested, you can find in the description box down below a list of all products used today. Using my stamping tool, I will stamp a happy birthday sentiment at the bottom of this panel. I have temporarily placed the die cut vase on top of the panel just to help me figure out the best placement for the clear stamp. Once I know it, I will remove the die cut pieces, close the misty dot to pick up the clear stamp, and stamp the sentiment using black pigment ink. I did not like the result at all, since the stamped sentiment does not stand out as much as it should because of the busy background. However, I will save this panel by simply cutting off the stamped section. However, before I do so, since I have my Misty stamping tool, I will go ahead and stamp a sentiment onto a piece of cardstock that is 4 by 5¼ inches that I will later glue inside my note card. So now, moving on to the rescue of this panel, first I will trim off a small section below the stamped sentiment that I will save for later, and then I will cut out the stamped section and throw it away. By the way, the original size of this panel was 4 by 5¼ inches, and that is why the white cardstock is showing around the edges, which I like very much. This time I will stamp the sentiment to the white note card, which will make the sentiment stand out. Once I have stamped the sentiment, I can go ahead and glue all of the pieces in place using strong liquid adhesive. I will begin by gluing this large panel on top above the stamped sentiment. Then I will glue that thin strip below the stamped sentiment. I was going to leave this panel as it is, however at the last minute I decided to also add 2 red cardstock strips to frame the stamped sentiment, and I really like how it turned out. The last step is to add the die-cut flower vase right in the center. To do so, I will use foam adhesive so my note card has a little bit of dimension. However, you can go ahead and use liquid adhesive if you want to. Here is a closer look at the final note card, and I hope you felt inspired. I did struggle today making this one, however I really liked the end result, and I hope some of this information was helpful to you. Thank you so much for spending this time with me and watching this video until the end. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for the reveal of door number 9, which I cannot wait for. Have a wonderful day and happy crafting!